Hi guys, it's Josh. There's red sky top of the horizon as we 360 here at the lifeguard stand. I'm here by the parachute jump, 17th and Riegelman, and I'm going to do my miles. Here we go. Tide coming in. So if there's any pumice stones or anything interesting. And a shovel. You could collect things like that. Old bottle. Banana. So this is a rather large seagull. That's a big seagull. More things for building castles. The flock isn't flying, the flock is walking me. There's food on the ground, I think. But I could, if no one wants that bucket, I could take that bucket and collect shells. Anyway, good day to you and thanks for watching. Walking along the shoreline here. There's still some families. Summer night, Wednesday in New York City. So this is the Coney Island's amusement park, Luna Park, and they also have Friday fireworks, which I might come out to again this Friday if I have nothing better to do, right? We shall see. So, I do have to set up for the ball, so I better get on the ball. The homework forms are going to take the most amount of time. If I had an assistant to do that, that would save me the most time. These waves are larger than last time we were here. And on we go. So, my dad passed away, and he had remarried. So, the widow Phyllis just texted, "Enjoy your walk on the beach. Water's encroaching." Tide's definitely coming in. Let's walk along the shoreline. Why is it so much darker? What's with the dark sand? This is weird. Wasn't like this, I don't know, something's been pushing up the sandbar or something. Weird. It's a lot of black sand. Is it from the fireworks on Friday? Danger, keep off rocks. Warning, don't slip on the rocks. The pole has fallen. Nice stone. I'm looking for medium-sized stones or bricks also for paperweights for school. This is just fun to have these random stones, but they're actually from walks on the beach. It's just something nice about that. Modolo, Corona, Modolo. This is Nathan's, the Wonder Wheel, guys. Paul's daughter, very famous place, and we're almost at the aquarium. So we're coming up on, not that far, a sixth of a mile. Almost 2/10 of a mile, guys. Something like that. Anyway, to shout out to Phyllis, she's making arrangements for my father's final memorial services. We're going to have two. We're going to have a memorial service in Pennsylvania at Anglican Church, Presbyterian Anglican Church. And then we're going to have a New York service where he was baptized. Dad was a practicing Jew. He grew up, he was bar mitzvahed, and he converted in the 90s when he remarried again. My mother was Catholic and Methodist. She wasn't Jewish at all, but Dad was. After the Navy, a lawyer, and then my mother. So, I'm gonna have two services. He's got a lot of friends from work and from his travels. He's in the Navy, so he's all over the world. So, I myself have not been. But he was a good dad. He supported learning, he supported education. He was a good dad. He's a good dad. How's it going, guys? Riker Guest says hello, and he's the #1 fan of this chat as we look at the Wonder Wheel. And happy couples sliding. See the sliding cars on the left side? See, folks. There's a flock of seagulls. But, you know, if you have a picnic, you should do your garbage. You're scavenging the garbage from that. Leftover bags. They didn't trash them, and the trash area is right there. They didn't trash it. They didn't bring it to the trash. Oh my goodness. Reduce, reuse, recycle. Come on, people. We all enjoy the beach. We all enjoy it. I'm new, says Record. That's cool. Yeah. Any subscriptions are appreciated. It's getting to the level on YouTube. I'm at 1,100 subscribers. Thanks to you guys to making that happen. I'll try and continue to bring you good content of my humble life as a decent, above-average juggler who became a math teacher. Certainly wasn't the best juggling. That does have a sport aspect to it, but I was just asthmatic. I was not one of the super athletes. If you want to know, juggling has such a weird following around the world. There's a few thousand people, in the tens of thousands. But it'll be in the Olympics in LA in 2028. It's a demonstration sport. So every 4 years, the host city, every 4 years the host city gets, remember they did breakdancing 4 years ago, but they're not bringing it back because of the poor etiquette with that woman from Australia or New Zealand or whatever, where they gave her a 0 score. So they're not coming back. But like judo, for example, when Japan hosted the Olympics, they introduced judo to the world. And since 1964, because they ran the show well, the competitions and gold, silver, and bronze, they were ambassadors of judo. They wanted to give judo to the world. So LA, there are lots of different circuses out there and small circus artists, variety artists. LA is a pretty big talent scene, like New York. So the LA guys, since the 80s, have been demonstrating juggling for the Olympic Committee, and they got their green light. So for the first time, there'll be a juggling competition in LA. If they run it right, you know, they have a tiered system like gymnastics for the moves, for very specific things that the juggler needs to do in terms of difficulty levels. Because we know as jugglers, I mean, if you're spent tens of thousands of hours doing it either. So they set up like gymnastics. There's like level A, B, C, and D numbers, you know, like 10-point scale, 100 points. And you set up a routine. So look for that. Juggling, one of the few circus arts that can be sort of, you can have like, you know, like if you're doing a floor exercise and you can do a layout or a double layout, or you can do certain combinations. You get certain points and stuff. So, very interesting time for the circus arts when juggling, which is an ancient art of self-discipline, is now going to be shown at the Olympics. So we've reached the aquarium. Guys, we're about a third of a mile into the walk. So last night, for example, I was at Bryant Park. If you check my channel, there wasn't much wind, so I could juggle my rings, 7 rings, when there's no wind outside. Even a slight breeze affects ring jugglers, so don't often perform with rings. It used to be in the Renaissance, rings were made of wood, heavier materials, so you can double the plastic rings like electrical tape or with some foil tape. So folks do that to make them heavier. Other folks, you can add a ring of pennies or magnets along the ring. And then still other folks out in LA, I forgot about Menlo rings because of the wind. They actually drill holes, so it looks like Swiss cheese. So when you throw the Swiss cheese rings, even though they're spinning, the wind affects it like 50% less. So you can double a ring, but then drill holes in it. But I digress. Thanks for watching. Folks, Sab says fire. Here we are on the beach. And there's the Coney Island. It's still a little blurry. It's the fence. Oh no. I've got oil on my fingers. That's not what I wanted. Right, that's much better. Alright, so let's keep going. And it's not a pumice stone, that's like a wrecked ping pong ball or a golf ball that's been pecked at by birds, so slimy. But sometimes pumice stones are washed up onto the shore. It's quite valuable. Pumice is an interesting stone because it floats in water, so the shit floats. So you can throw a whole bunch of stones in, you collect on the beach, but the pumice ones will rise to the surface. You can also use them to scrape off calluses on your feet or hands if you work with your hands or are on your feet all day. Here's the pumice stone. That's one. That's a pumice stone. So notice it's got like these ridges, like it's artificially made or artificially packed. Like it was used for transport. It's got these unusual ridges. But it's a real pumice stone and it really floats when I bring it home. They're kind of valuable. No? Here's another one. So it's been a few weeks, but it is pumice stone night in this zone of the beach. We're at the Oceanside Grill, and I'm finding pumice stones. You know, you go to like Walgreens, and if you buy like a pumice, like it's kind of like the size of a soap bar, they're between $5 and $10. I mean, I guess you could go on Temu and get one for like $2, or buy like a case of them and they'll be like $1 each. But pumice is not cheap. Went to these industrial sites to see where they have different usage for pumice. You can buy about like a kilo or whatever, like large quantities, and it was in the hundreds of dollars for like a box of pumice. So you can use it through buoyancy for your ships and stuff, and when you're packing stuff. Like if you have cargo and you just want something light, or you have something water filled and you need something to create a buoyant effect. Is that a drone? Is that a plane? It's a small plane, small one propeller plane. But when it spews out of volcanoes, since we have no volcanoes in New York, it's either artificially made or was brought over by ships who were then dumped their pumice when they dropped off their cargo. Fun fact, in Lower Manhattan, those aren't cobblestones. A lot of the bricks are bricks to weight cargo ships, so that the buoyancy is the same. So then they'll dump these weight stones, thousands of them, and then pick up their cargo going back. But they use these weight stones when they travel to keep the ship balanced. They can move them around the ship. So, interesting fun fact. The streets downtown, like Pearl Street and the old streets of colonial New York and Manhattan, that's a large pumice type stone, but it's white. Those are the slimy ones. I'm not picking that up. But in Lower Manhattan, those are ships. They're not cobblestone bricks. They're ships' weights. To say the left side of the ship has no cargo, or they just have half a ship and they can't really balance it. They just move like a whole bunch of bricks, make a wall of bricks on one side of the ship to keep it balanced. Or the fore and the aft, the starboard. So here's more pumice. I'm so serious. This. Look. That's amazing. All right, so it's a pumice night here on Wednesday, July 23rd. The sea doesn't spit out pumice all the time. But I guess also it's the timing. If I come out after low tide, because we're not at high tide yet, and the tide's coming in. 8:31, July 23rd. Tide is rising tide. And we have pumice on the beach on the waterline, wherever it's coming from. It could be artificial sandbars that were dumped and sand was put over them and they just break down over time. Right? They're like used to help barges move things. Or they could be part of the cargo or the flats, because then you can like move stuff around. It's really valuable stuff. I'm not joking. So I have an increasing size jar of pumice. I guess when I get to a little barrel, get to bowling ball size collection of pumice, that could be worth like $50. It's a lot of pumice stone. And you can crush it together and form these little mini rafts. Oh, that's what I was trying to say. It comes from volcanic eruption. So you do all these minerals and precious gems. But out in the ocean, when tectonic plates hit each other, sometimes they form pumice islands you can literally walk on that go for many kilometers, that birds can sit on, that even animals can sit on. Out in the ocean, there are these giant pumice islands going on for kilometers, as large as Staten Island, like huge. Larger than Roosevelt Island, their legend has it. And I've seen pictures of it. Wouldn't that be the life, though? Build your house on the pumice rafts that float in our small tent or small shack. Fish in the ocean. They have a community, small boats that anchor to it, travel around. If I had my own boat, I would want to find one of these pumice islands. If I had like a yacht, attach my ship to it, walk on the pumice island safely, and go back to my boat. That would be so cool. The world is vast. This water world is vast. I've been watching the late night LiDAR of Egypt again because we did a LiDAR thing with the pyramids in the jungle. Like, that's how they can find these pyramids as large as the pyramids of Giza and Cheops in South America, because they're all covered by vegetation in South America. So these lost pyramids, and if they have the same function, they use LiDAR. So some Italian dude and his team did a big report that again is being suppressed, probably because of the Egyptian government, saying that, well, under the pyramid there are these massive columns that go down to 2 kilometers, spiral down. I don't know if there's a river under there, water from the Nile, or subterranean city 2 kilometers below each of the pyramids. And what keeps coming to mind is that city on Mars that restarted the planet for life, that accelerated, like a Genesis type project from Total Recall. So, Schwarzenegger get your ass to Mars. He goes to Mars and he restarts the machine, and there were these giant columns in the subterranean, some sort of electrical force or nuclear, like a technology that we don't know, a science that we aren't advanced enough to know, but that can harmonize with the planet and create a planet where humans can live, humanoids can live. So, when I was a kid, I wanted to be a doctor. But it's that kind of thing I was interested in. I was like, this seems like when you're searching for human truth, like, they're humanoids and evolved species related to ourselves that could land on a planet and create a planet that humans could live in. Human. They could start it with this mathematical technology, this physics. It is one of the basic sci-fi theories. And if so, if these pyramids would dig deep into the earth and accelerate, you know, like there's bacteria in the ocean and water, but accelerate not reptilian life, but humanoid life, if we are the life force contained within these bodies, and accelerated the process as creators of the current life form that we live in, this humanoid body. These are just some of these things you think about when you're a science kid or science fiction. Was the on switch, like just flip all the switches on the pyramids, and we had a world power grid, but that also created a lush planet of water and forestry and vegetation that served the humanoids that lived here. So then when I watched these videos, the remarkable discoveries, like how are they going to get down there? Who's allowed down there? If there are these giant spiral staircases, or maybe they're giant elevators, I don't know. Or there's some type of transport system that goes down 2 kilometers, and that's the control station, or that's since they go down to giant boxes. So are there giant buildings underneath that are then working with the water energies or whatever, because that was one of the theories, that it was a power generator that served the entire continent and subcontinent. Maybe it also was a refueling station for spaceships. Who knows? Like, these are the theories for UFOs, so they could do interstellar travel. Or, what do they call them? Interdimensional gateways. So they could create energy fields so that we could go through wormholes in space. There are all those different theories, you know what I'm talking about. So it's fun to watch them. But then as you're watching these Egypt videos, hi, how's it guys? They come up with like, oh, they found 20-foot tall skeletons buried in the desert again. Well, what if those were the giants of the Bible that started to go mad or started to enslave or exterminate 2-meter tall people? What if there really were these 6 and 7 foot meter giants that controlled these power stations? Or because they were the ones who were controlling these fields, they learned how to make their bodies larger or smaller as needed for interstellar travel. All of this is fascinating. But then when you try and Google 20-foot tall humans, it says, oh, the skeletons are probably a hoax. There's no official evidence from any museum that those are real skeletons. They're just photographs that are just, doctored. So they just zoomed in on the skeletons and they layered them over the site. They just changed they put 2 or 3 photographs together. So it looks like they're these giant skeletons. Hi, how's it going? Shout out to Boksab, Riker Guest, and Sue Elm. We make it to almost some. We're at the tech table, and it's late, but there's still 6 games going on of the 8 volleyball games here. So we can see some beautiful Russian girls, Ukrainian. We can see the happy Mexican families or Ecuadorians playing their volleyball. Here's the Tech Q cable guy. They're still playing intense. They're good volleyball. They're like high school, college level skill, some of these players. Like real digs and dives and sets for people who really like volleyball. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5 going on. And these 2 always end early. There's a Tech Q cable. All right, I'm gonna look for the tire tracks because it's an easier walk on your ankles and feet. But I needed this good workout. On we go. So just remember, if you're having trouble walking in soft sand, find some tire tracks. Follow the tire tracks where the sand is packed. So even if it's hard on your ankles, it's firm. Follow the tire tracks, guys. Alright, follow this track here. The ridges, because that's a heavier vehicle. Red Cross Station. There's a worker inside doing the last cleaning for today. Container ship. Maybe the pumice is on the bottom of the container ship and it falls off. It's like a buoyancy thing for emergencies, so it keeps it oriented in a certain way. There's a theory. Almost there. Looks like we're about 90 seconds behind. Lights are on the boardwalk, just went on at 8:03. Just getting 30 minutes, 45 seconds. So 45 seconds lower. We didn't dawdle that much. It's just that a black sand and picking up pumas. No, I didn't. So it's not bad. Down at Brighton Beach. It's the Brighton Playground. Luna Park. And a lot of boats in the distance tonight. It's a beautiful night to go sailing, man. So, again, a shout out to my brother. I paid him back 200 more bucks today. I owe him like 4,000 bucks. When we moved, I moved out of an apartment because the women were getting beaten up in the complex. It's just one of these big houses, and they had like 7 or 8 boarders. But the women kept coming home with like bruised faces. I mean, if they're dating like some delivery boy or some restaurant waiter, and it's like some type of like, I'm not gonna marry you, you're just some single woman, and they just get fucked over, these women. I was like, this is like a scam, or these guys are assholes, like gangster assholes. So I was like, I don't trust them anymore, because women they used to come home not with bruises like on their arms or their ankles, but on their faces. So I told my brother and sister I don't trust this manager anymore, who was doing some type of service to the restaurants, to have like 18-wheelers come in the middle of the night and drop off like 50-pound sacks of rice and meat. And he had converted the garage to this sort of like black market restaurant shopping spree. So like these guys would come up in a car. It looked like it was food. I don't know if it was drugs. I don't know. He had all these refrigerators. So they'd roll up. They'd ask for this guy. And then he'd bring out like 10 sacks of rice. I don't know if they're like one of the sacks was like drugs or whatever, but I never thought about that. For some reason, they just kept offering me ice cream or dumplings. But maybe they were just trying to tell me that in these fridges, that's all that's in there, like ice cream and dumplings and rice. Because there were so many. And anyway, that's me being naive again. But these women worked in like nail salons, and they, they're actually really pretty Chinese women. But they don't want to be fucking prostitutes, They don't want to be fucked over by some pimp. And they were honest workers, hairdressers. So they practiced their hairdress skills with these mannequins they had. They danced in the living room. But then they would come home on a Friday or Saturday night, and they were physically assaulted. So I complained to the landlord. He goes, "You're not Chinese, So then my brother and sister moved me out, and we had the address. But I moved to a family house where the dad also Chinese, but they have kids, and they behave. Again, if it's like the way the Chinese do business, and you're lucky if you find someone, you better be a good taker of this guy, and that's the way they run their tongs or whatever. It's just like, you get your house, shut the fuck up, take some boarders, you'll have your mortgage paid off in 10 years. You can even sell your house to another family, buy a house for yourself. Then after 10, you have to do the shit. So it's just a way to generate money. When they work in construction, I've seen him helping out with other renovations as they keep flipping houses. They turn Chinese over and over. So it's really well run here in Brooklyn. They get the mortgage contracts. become the real estate dealers, and block after block of Chinese families, or Russians as well, have very organized real estate management down here. It's remarkable. Of course, I have no passive income from this, but I really love these old lampposts. Let's admire the old 1920s style lampposts in Coney Island. And we're heading down. It's earnings seasons again, and haven't been playing the market, haven't been playing the quarters, but I gotta get on the ball. When I was really doing it and getting it right, I was making my rent money. And when I was getting it wrong, I was losing it, but I'm getting it again. It's just my confidence is low. It's just low, You have to do the high probabilities. So spiders are good because they're like baskets, ETFs. So if you options trade, the gamma is often better with ETFs than with a single stock. So for example, the Tesla earnings was today, and I bet on the call side with like an ETF, but it's going to go down. But Amazon is part of the same basket, so I got to maybe roll it forward another month, and I shouldn't lose any money. But then that takes time because you got to catch up with yourself. Tesla got crushed like 3-4% because of EV sales and because of all the politics with our president. He's at odds with President Trump. He keeps bringing up the Epstein scandals and stuff like that. I think I'm going to have my chicken roll. That's what I'm going to do before we get to the populated area. So I'm just going to take it out of my book bag, swing you guys around. Hold on just a second. I'm going to go to a bench. I got my dinner. Let's see. Oh, this is still zoomed in. Alright. So I bought a chicken roll and pizza on the run nearby the boardwalk here. I haven't run the Brooklyn Marathon in years. But I'll put this down here. The beach is really lovely tonight. So I have half a chicken roll left. Here we go. Awesome. I've had so much greasy food and groceries and snacks. My bag reeks. Now I gotta wash it. I do my friggin' laundry. That light just going. Yeah, fix this. Deleted your message? I didn't delete any messages. I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't delete any messages. I hit the wrong button. Sorry, guys. Some fireworks on the beach. There's some grease on the left. So, let me go. It's a really good $9 chicken roll. It's got a lot of cheese, but it tastes good. The chicken is well cooked and breaded, and there's tomato sauce inside, just enough. I didn't need the extra tub of tomato sauce. Dude charged me $11 though, so he charged me $2 for the tub of marinara. Oh no, my drink was $2, so he didn't charge me. So the iced tea in the bottle for $2 is a bargain actually. All right, I'm going back to the store. Hell yeah. The best chicken roll I've had in a while. Heavy on the cheese. So often they just make chicken rolls with bread. But here the bread is kind of thin. It's just stuffed with mozzarella cheese and chicken. So it's really quite good. Well, we're at the aquarium. So we're about halfway back. You can see the subterranean city. There's a loading dock here with a hose on it. And giant gray walls. This defunct grill still has I haven't seen it open. Serving shakes or burgers. So it was near. But it's clean. There's some restaurant stuff right there. And lights on. So here's where the runners started to do damage, smash through the boards. They still didn't fix them. There's a truck Jeep down there. More gray walls. Some type of coal. Big pipes. Like water pipes, sewage pipes. And the boards are loose from the runners. There we go. I hid someone? I didn't hide anyone. The light is on. Getting there. All right, we're about, let's see, almost at 30 miles now. Whew. So we do this 2 miles. So we're at 28 when we started. But passing the aquarium. We're gonna make it to the restaurants. All right. So again, almost there, maybe like 10 more minutes, 12 more minutes in the walk. This is the gazebo where I sat to watch the fireworks, I think. They also have a movie night. I'm gonna go over to the park and have a list of the movies. There's some type of Planet of the Apes like movie that they had last time, but he was like doing like 80s rap. It was really bad. I don't know what movie that was. But the monkeys were doing like really bad rap. Thanks for the thumbs up, guys. Subscribing is free. And still working on a channel upgrade for monetization for paid subs for tutoring content, as well as might have dollar classes in math, as well as merch and stuff, and ad blitz when we get to 4,000 hours a year. So I have to keep doing this. I guess some people, they just throw like $500 or $1,000 down in adults. But I don't know if that works. I should have asked if it really works. So you don't want to just throw money down that doesn't generate any money for your channel. But let's say I did a free SHSAT and free SAT class. Start that in August. And there do ads are $1 per lesson. would that content be if I did $1,000 in ads in New York? Would I generate that much in return? Otherwise, it's a waste of $1,000 and all my time setting up the classes. Do you hear what I'm fucking saying? I probably should just go to ChatGPT and say, how do I set up with WordPress a monetized online class so that I can get paid by credit card and then advertise for it? Like that's what I would like to do. I was gonna call the tech guy. My dad said I'd just hire a web developer and they'll help me set up that monetization. But then once it's set up, it should generate passive income. I have the skills. The Wonder Wheel looks like surreal. This lighting because of the floor lights. You gotta check this. Doesn't look real. It's the Wonder Wheel in Luna Park. Oh, I was gonna check out the movie schedule if it's here. Sculpting contest. Parachute literary arts. Set poems on the pier. It's just a map. These guys are throwing into the wind. Wind is coming. It's blue pins. 1%.
Okay, catch.
Oh.
How it come back to you?
It's good. Bueno.
I'm just telling you that for like.
Alright guys, almost done here. We're walking up to the parachute jump in the distance with it's blinking in red blue. The bike is parked near there, so we're almost there. Nine o'clock, the bathroom's closed, man. The workers are locking it up. Vendors are still here with their corn and the shish kebab. These guys are goofing off. That's good. Kind of orthodox out tonight. Oh, battery's low. All right, almost there. All right, thanks for watching. Head home. Just wrapping this walk up. Did my 2 miles here at Coney Island Beach. I locked my bike up by the sawhorses, the police sawhorses. Almost there. All right. Goodbye, guys. I'm out of here. Later. So it's only 1 minute less coming back on the sand this time. Slow tonight. Good night. Thanks for watching.